I just wanted to make a video today about some stuff I've been thinking about. I've been thinking about my family, my relatives, and the past and the present. I was thinking back, so many years ago, all my grandmothers, brothers and sisters, they were all growing up and they were getting married and they were having kids, and everybody was, either working or having kids or a combination of both, and they were, everybody was getting together, at certain places and over at my great-grandmother's, and I'm just, I've been thinking about, they all, they were all, working and, having kids, and, they all, kind of knew each other, and they knew other people that were, working and, were in certain fields, areas of, like, I don't know, I've been thinking, about that, and, I was watching some old videos of when everybody was getting together at my great-grandmother's house back in the 1990s, I was watching, and they were all there, and, all my grandmother's brothers and sisters and their children, and, and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm just thinking about today, taking it from the early 1990s till the present time, 2018, I'm surrounded, I'm just saying, I don't know, I'm here, and, I'm just thinking about back then and now. I was thinking there's nobody in my family that has to work or does work. Either they're retired or they're getting some type of check. But I'm thinking to myself, nobody that I know of has to wake up and go to a job to pay the bills and to provide for their children, and I'm just, I'm just thinking back then, to where everybody, back in the 90s or whatever, when I've been watching these home videos, and I'm thinking to myself, what jobs, these people were doing, and, they were having kids, they were working, if they knew people and they could help each other, or their family or their relatives or their friends get a job, and, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't have anybody. I don't have anybody to, I don't know anybody that has to work right now. I don't know anybody that knows somebody that can help me get a job. Everybody is either retired or on some type of disability, Social Security, something like that. And, I'm thinking to myself, I was looking at those home videos, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking back at these home videos from the 1990s, and I'm looking at the early 1990s, and I'm looking at individuals who would become multimillionaires or millionaires, and I'm thinking to myself, these people that were back then in the 1990s, and I'm thinking about them today, And these people could, I'm just saying, these people could change my life. These people, it would be like me going to McDonald's and buying something off the dollar menu. As poor as I am, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I can scrounge up $1, and it's not going to, I'm not going to lose any sleep about it. That would be like, I'm just saying, that would be like some of my relatives who are millionaires or multimillionaires, just basically calling me up or showing up and just say, listen, I want to change your life in a positive manner. Here is some money. I want you to do great things. I know you can do great things. I want you to turn your life around, and, I want you to just be bold. Do great things. I don't want you to have to worry about, how you're going to pay your bills and your insurance and your electric and your cell phone and your car payment, and I don't want you to have to worry about that. I want you to concentrate on being able to get a good night's rest. I want you to not worry about having anxiety attacks over money, because that is the main issue of why I have anxiety attacks, is over money. And I lose sleep. I have night terrors. I have anxiety attacks in the middle of the night that will wake me up, and I will just be in a sweat, and I will just be having, I will be having these awful, terrible dreams. And I'm just saying that one of my relatives that are a millionaire or multimillionaire, they could do something like that and say, I want to change your life in a positive way. And you know what? It would not. They would not have to lose any sleep about it. It would not hurt them at all, And they could do it in a random act of kindness, manner, and, it could be between me and them. But you know what? I keep on saying this, and, I'm just saying, no, I don't believe that, the rich have an obligation to give to the poor, and I've said this before. I don't, I know it's not like that, but when somebody can, and it would not hurt them at all, whenever they have so much that they don't know what to do with it, that's a difference. Whenever, I could not even understand having so much money to where, just the interest alone. I'm just saying, one of my relatives, I remember this conversation, and this has been at least 10 years ago, more than that. This person was telling, other people, and, I'm just saying, I found out that they could live off the interest alone. And I'm not talking about live in a poor manner. I'm talking about live. I'm just saying, you're talking about living in a multi-million-dollar house and, flying around in a private plane with private pilots and, wearing a nice 18-karat gold, Rolex masterpiece. And, I'm just saying, living the good life and being able to live off the interest of the money that you have, tens of millions of dollars. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, or somebody that is, I'm just saying somebody that is in their late 80s and doesn't have to worry about money at all and is a millionaire, you know what I'm saying? I just don't understand why somebody like that, or somebody that's worth tens of millions of dollars, doesn't help, the people that are severely in need and having anxiety attacks and having severe depression and, just losing sleep, and people, they have relatives and that live in terrible conditions and, just do without and struggle and, go through all these, if I had that money, if I had that kind of money, I could not help it but do random acts of kindness for family members, especially for friends, and for just anonymous people. You know what I'm saying? I would wake up. I mean, imagine waking up every day and knowing you could change somebody's life in a positive manner. Every day you wake up, every day out of the year, you could, change somebody's life in a positive manner. And you could do it. You could do it like a random act of kindness. I mean, I would love to be able to do that. I would love to. And, I don't know. I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking to myself, God bless them, but I am surrounded by people, that, they don't have to work. They're either drawing a check for Social Security, disability, retirement, I'm just saying, I'm thinking to myself about my mirror image identical twin brother. I'm thinking back and I'm thinking, could he have been helped? And I can't help but say absolutely. Could he have been changed in a positive manner? Absolutely he could have. I'm just thinking to myself, I'm thinking about these people that, have this money and can do great things. And, people say, money can't buy happiness, money can't buy love. You know what? Money can't buy a lot of things, but you know what? It can sure help ease the mind when you don't have to worry about where, you don't have to worry about, buy, the money to buy food. You don't have to worry about the money to buy gas. You don't have to worry about the money to pay bills. You know what I'm saying? Just the necessities. If you didn't have to worry about that, and, and I'm just, that's what I don't know. And I'm thinking to myself about my brother. You know what I'm saying? I love my brother. I miss my brother. I was thinking about, and sometimes it just hits me. You know what I'm saying? It hits me. I haven't seen my brother in over 3 years. And, and I'm just going to say, do I believe he's gone? No, I don't. Do I believe he's in rehab somewhere? Or if he's, I have to believe certain things, But do I believe he's gone? No. But that's the only way I can deal with it. But sometimes, I have to say, sometimes it just, I'm sitting there and I'm looking in the mirror. I'm looking in the mirror and I see him. I see me, but I see him, and, sometimes I look down at my hands, when I'm doing these videos, sometimes I look at my hands and I can't help but look at my hands and see my brother's hands. I see his hands, When I reach down sometimes in a video and I see my hands, they remind me of my mirror image identical twin brothers, I think of all he went through, and I just know he could have been helped. I know he could have been saved. I know it without a doubt. 100% I know that he could have been saved. He could have been helped. I've said this before too. People say, I've given I give 110% or 100 whatever, 101% or whatever. There is no more than 100%. That is the best you can do. 100% is the best you can do. I don't want to hear I gave 110%, okay? That sounds great, but in reality it's not the truth. But, I'm just thinking to myself, I wish I had somebody whenever I was younger. Whenever I was growing up, and I wish my brother and I both had somebody that set us down when we were about 15 years old, just whenever you're getting old enough to where you need to concentrate on your next phase of life. At 15 years old, it may not have made such an impact on me, but you know what? I'm just saying, if somebody would have reached me at 15 and then came back at like 17, came back at like 18, and, just kept on me and saying, I wish somebody would have set me down and said, listen, I love you. I care about you. I want the best for you. But I want to tell you, life is fucking rough. Life is fucking hard. You may not understand that right now, you know what I'm saying? Because you're a kid and I know you want to grow up, and you want to drive and there's a lot of stuff you want to do. You want to, when you're young, you have certain goals, you know what I'm saying? When you're 11, you want to be 12. 12, you want to be 13. 13, you want to be 14. 15, you want to be 16. You know what I'm saying? And then it goes on from there. You want to get your driver's license at 16. And your learner's at 15. Your driver's license at 16. And you can't wait to make it to 18. And then at 18, you can't wait to make it to 21. And then after that, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I'm just saying, it would have made a world of difference in my life and my brother's life. I'm telling you, if we had a mentor or a family member, anybody that just set us down, like I said, at 15, 16, 17, 18, at stages, you know what I'm saying? At stages, and came back and, just gave us these talks, and checked on us and made sure we were on the right path and made sure we were motivated and made sure that we had positive goals for the future and that we were living right and making the right decisions, Like I said, I wish somebody would have, like Rocky said, I wish somebody would have set us down and said, listen, I know you don't know this now, but you know what? Life may not be hard right now, but I'll tell you, when you get out there and you got to work for a living and you got to compete against other people for jobs and you have to pay, for rent and a mortgage, car payments, insurance, for gas, for water, for cable, for cell phone, for you name it, you know what I'm saying? Like Rocky said, there is nothing tougher than life. Life will beat you down to your knees and keep you there if you let it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the fucking truth. I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. But you know what? That's what I wish. I really do wish that I had whenever I was growing up, a mentor. I wish my brother and I both had a mentor, that just, made sure that we were on the right path, that we were motivated, that we were doing the right things, that we were taking the right steps, that we were staying out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because I think to myself, I'm just saying, I love my mom, you know what? But I'm thinking, my mom has been married, let me count. My mom's been married 4 times, you know what I'm saying? And, she was basically a housewife, and, I'm just saying my dad has been married, I'm just going to say at least 3 times, My dad's been married, at least 3 times. So, my dad's been in and out of jail, in and out of prison, on drugs, on an alcoholic or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He got my brother addicted to opiates. And, I'm just thinking to myself, everybody makes mistakes. I will be the first to tell you I am far from perfect. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, I don't know, I'm thinking about my life. Like I said, I wish. I'm looking at these home movies, and I'm seeing these people, these people that had jobs, and, my relatives back in the early 90s, I'm watching these home videos, and I'm looking at these people, and I'm saying, this person had this job, that person had that job, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to name all the jobs that they had, but you know what? It would have been nice if somebody would have came and said, hey, I love you, I care about you, I know you may not want to hear this now, but you're getting older, what are you thinking about doing, you know what I'm saying, what are you thinking about doing when you're getting older, you know what I'm saying, when you get older, what do you want to do, and, I'm just saying, if somebody would have, said, hey, this is the business that I'm in, you know what I'm saying, would you ever think about doing this, you know what I'm saying, because I'm just saying, when I moved from Florida to Tennessee, and I'm thinking to myself, my grandparents were married for 30-something years, and then my grandfather ended up leaving, He was really my step-grandfather, but, he's, I still think of him as my grandfather, my papa, and, he ended up leaving my grandmother after 30-something years of marriage. We were up in Tennessee for about, I think, I don't even know, 2 years or something, somewhere around then, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, my grandfather, after 30-something years of marriage, my brother and I and my dad were living in extremely close to my grandmother and to my nana and my papa. And my papa, in the middle of the night, without saying anything to us, just up and left after being our grandfather I'm just saying, as long as we lived, you know what I'm saying, as long as we knew. I mean, yes, whenever we were about, that's another story, when we were about 13 years old, we got introduced to my dad's dad at about 13 years old. No, maybe less than that. We were about maybe 11 years old. But we were introduced to my dad's dad, my real grandfather, as Uncle Bobby. That's how we were introduced. I remember the first time I met my grandfather. He came over to my mom's in Apopka, and it was my mom, and she was by herself in the trailer with us, and it was my brother and I, and this guy walks in, and my mom says, "This is your Uncle Bobby." And I'm thinking to myself, as the time went by, that is just insane. And then, later on we learned that he was, our real grandfather. He would pick us up and, take us, out to eat and stuff, and we would go over to his house. But really, in reality, I don't remember, and my brother doesn't remember ever meeting him before about maybe 11 years old, something like that, in Apopka, whenever this guy showed up, and my mom introduced him as Uncle Bobby, and he was really my dad's dad, my real grandfather. And I'm just saying, I'm thinking about all the stuff that I've been through. I've been through armed robbery. I've been shot at, I have been shot at. I've had to be I've had to hide in a broom closet where there was no openings where there's, when there's locks on the doors, there's holes in the doors, and then you put the locks in there, whatever. I'm just saying, I'm gonna make another video about that. But you know what? I'm just saying, I'm just thinking to myself, I've been shot at, involved in armed robbery where I was shot at six times. Somebody wanted to come in and they wanted I was managing a store, and I'm just saying, I was thinking to myself how old I was. I was in my early 20s and I was managing the store, and you're talking about ski masks, gloves. You're talking about, I saw them, and I'm going to make another video about that. But they pushed open the door, and I moved to my left, and they just, the guy, there was one guy that he was already has the gun in his hand. There was another person they were all both dressed in black ski masks, black gloves, wearing all black, a black shirt, black pants, black shoes, and one had a gun, and the other one was loading a gun at the door. And I yelled to a friend of mine, a mutual friend of mine, of the owners and mine, and I yelled his name, and he was standing to my right, and I moved to the left, and they just pushed open the door and started shooting at me. They shot through a concrete pillar, they shot through a desktop computer, and they shot through some swinging doors that I ran through. They wanted to come in there and just kill me and take it was a multi-million-dollar worth of inventory, and I'm going to make another video about that. But I'm just saying, I've been through that. I was working with a guy. I'm just saying, I was working with a guy here in Tennessee, and he was the manager, and I was a full-time sales associate, and he started talking about, I'm not going to get into details about what he was talking about or whatever, but he was my manager or whatever, and I ended up leaving that place because, what we said was there was not enough room for two bulls, basically, where there was two bulls, two alpha males. I was young, and like I said, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But there was two, we kind of butted heads on certain things, and it was business or whatever, so I ended up leaving, and then, but here's the crazy thing. Like I said, he would make certain comments about certain things, but he was married, and he had a child, and I even went over to his house. Like I said, we ended up just parting ways or whatever, but we shook hands, and we wished each other the best, and we left on good terms or whatever. And like I said, during that time that I worked there, and he was the manager, and I was a full-time sales associate, he wanted to I was going to get promoted to assistant manager of that store, but I ended up leaving because, like I said, we kind of butted heads or whatever. Well, I ended up working at a job for over 10 years. So, but like I said, he invited me over to his house, and to come over or whatever, and I met his wife and his little boy or whatever. But like I said, to make a long story short, this is the stuff I've been through. Next, I'm working at this new job, and sometime later I hear, did you hear about so and so? And I said, no. And he said, oh, you haven't heard? What was happening was him and his wife ended up having some troubles or whatever, marital troubles, and they separated or whatever. And she was in Nashville, working in Nashville at a hair salon, and he ended up going to that hair salon, and he had a suicide note on him, and he pulled up there to that nail salon, and she was there, and luckily I don't believe their son was there, but she was working as a hairdresser. He opened up the door and just opened fired on her. I think he shot her like 6 times, but somehow, some way, luckily she lived, But this was on the TV, it was in the news and everything. And then he walked outside, committed suicide, shot himself in the head, and committed suicide. He had a suicide note on him and everything. This is the truth. I'm talking about true stuff here. And, like I said, he was a manager of, a place where I was working at full time, and he wanted to promote me to assistant manager. So that's another thing. And then another thing is, like I said, I was involved. Oh, gosh. I'm just saying, that another thing is, I already made another video about that, but I was at this place or whatever, and these people came in to rob the owner, I'm pretty sure they wanted to rob him, kill him, take the merchandise or whatever. To make a long story short, there was a woman and a man, they were wearing clear rubber gloves. I told the owner, I said, they're here to do something bad. I said, listen, they're wearing clear rubber gloves, and, I'm sitting at the computer, and they come around the corner or whatever. I'm just saying, when they first walk in, and they look like, especially the male, he looks like he saw a ghost. He was shocked. He thought that the owner was going to be there by himself, I believe, But to make a long story short, I tell this guy, I said, listen, they got rubber gloves on. I said, they're up to no good. I said, something's wrong. You know what the guy said? Don't blow the sale. He was serious, 100% serious as cancer. Don't blow the sale. I said, are you fucking kidding me? They're fucking here to kill. I said, they're fucking here to rob. Something's up. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here I'm sitting at the computer, and I'm looking at him. He's looking at me. I got my hand on the gun. I got the only gun in the whole entire store, and I know they're up to fucking no good. You know what I'm saying? But this is the shit I've went through, like I said. And to make a long story short, the girl pretends she was pregnant, and she wasn't fucking pregnant, Well, to make a long story short, oh God, I made that in the old other fucking video. I'm just saying. The girl goes to the fucking bathroom, the owner, whatever, he says, hey, walk her back to the bathroom. She's, she has to go to the bathroom. She's pregnant. We can't stop her from going to the bathroom. Well, fuck, I knew something was up. You know what I'm saying? And when I walked her to the fucking bathroom, I mean, there was no exit out the back where the bathroom was. She could have came out easily from that bathroom with a gun and just started shooting. I mean, I was in plain view. I'm just saying, this is the stuff that I've went through, and to make a long story short, like I said, the guy comes around the corner, the guy and the girl, the guy, I'm just saying, the owner of the store is letting the girl try on jewelry. She's turning around, he's putting a fucking necklace on her, and this guy's coming around the corner, and he's got a fucking gun out, and he's trying to sneak up on him, and I'm there with the only fucking gun, and I got the gun, pointed right at the opening of the fucking door, where I know he's gonna come, and he comes around the fucking corner. I got my fucking gun right there. He's got the gun fucking out. I could have shot him right there and killed him, and it would have been justified, But he turns around towards me and points the fucking gun right at me. I'm telling you, this is the shit that I've been through. And at that moment, he could have easily shot and killed me. I fucked up, But I'm just saying, I didn't shoot him, he didn't shoot me. You know what I'm saying? I kept my gun on him, he put his gun down, he turned around, like I said, I called the fucking owner's wife, all this shit or whatever. The owner's wife came in, she walked out the fucking door, I called the fucking cops, they fucking ended up leaving or whatever. The fucking girl wasn't pregnant. She had a fucking, on her stomach, she had a pillow. that made her look pregnant. She had a roll of duct tape. She had a loaded gun. She had a pillowcase. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to fucking, it was, they wanted to fucking kill him, and take everything. And, they ended up tasing her because she ended up running away. She wasn't fucking pregnant. She pretended to be pregnant. And the fucking guy had warrants already for bad checks and armed robbery. And they were driving a vehicle. And that's one thing I noticed when I looked out the front door. They had fucking different plates on, out-of-state plates on their fucking car. What they did was it was a rental car. They put plates on top of it, fake plates on top of it. Like I said, this is the shit I've been through, And I'm just saying. I think to myself, my brother, he's not here anymore. I can't believe that. I don't believe that, you know what I'm saying? But I haven't seen him in 3 fucking years. And I think to myself, could he have been helped? Could he have been saved? Absolutely he could have. He could have, you know what I'm saying? I mean, my dad got him fucking addicted to fucking opiates, He fucking used to take him to the fucking drug dealers, And I'm just saying, I'm just fucking saying, and then I got these rich relatives that could have helped my brother, you know what I'm saying? It would have been no fucking sweat to them, where they could have just, they have enough fucking money, they could have taken him away and said, we love you, we want the best for you, we're going to help you out, we want you to have a great life. Could have taken him to rehab, could have got him, the best mental and physical and spiritual and rehab. They could have gotten the best help, possible, you know what I'm saying? And, fuck, I don't know. Like I said, I've got a lot of stuff on my mind. And, I'm just thinking to myself, I mean, I just had a birthday, and, I'm thinking about what the next step is, you know what I'm saying? What the fucking next step is, I don't know anymore. I just don't know. And that's why I've got these up here, Yeah, the light turned off like I knew it would, but this is the same stuff, This is like what I think about right here.